Hello and welcome to Maths at Holland Park School for the sixth form for next year. We're really excited about welcoming you to Holland Park, and my name's Nicholas Robson. I'm the school's associate head. I oversee maths, and with me is Miss Shi, who is our star maths teacher who leads A-level maths across the school. She is an absolutely brilliant teacher, and if maths is your thing, then you should really think about coming to Holland Park School. Miss Shi is going to take us through a couple of problems in maths, and one of the things that she's going to do is she's going to take you through a problem that you should be able to do even with your skills of maths from primary school. So here is one of the first problems that she's going to take you through. Miss Shi, let me pass over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Robson. Hello, everyone. The first question I would like to go through with you today is an algebraic fraction question. As you can see on the screen, the denominator and the numerator in this question, which we are going to learn in A-level maths, they are called polynomials. The definition of a polynomial is a finite expression with positive whole number indices. So in order to write h of x in the form as the question requests, some of you might have already realized that we need to use long division. So if you know how to do this question, could you please pause the video and have a go at this question, then come back to check answer with us? If not, please keep watching. So the first thing I would like you to do, which I wanted to see how many of you still remember how to use long division by dividing two numbers. So if you can have a go at this question before we move on to the algebraic fraction question, could you pause the video if you know how to do it? So we know that the key to long division is the digit by digit method. We know that 23 doesn't divide into 1. Then we move on to next digit, which is 4. We know that 23 doesn't divide into 14 either. So we have to move on to next digit. Then we can do 145 divided by 23. So we all know that this answer should be 6. And after division, we need to do multiplication by doing 6 multiplied by 23 to get the answer to be able to find the remainder. So in order to find the remainder, we need to find the difference of these two numbers. So as you can see, we have finished doing 145 divided by 23 by using division, multiplication, and subtraction. But the question still has 2 digits to go. So we need to bring the copy of 6 down to join the remainder to do 76 divided by 23. But you can see we start to repeat the method: division, multiplication, and subtraction. So we do division first. It's easy to get this is 3, then multiplication, then subtraction. And this last digit here, 7, bring the copy of 7 down to join the remainder, division, multiplication, and subtraction. So this is the end of this long division question, and we all know that the remainder in this question is 8. So in order to write this fraction, which you have learned at primary school, you know this is called an improper fraction. To write it as a mixed number, we write 633 here and 8 over 23. We all know that and means adding. So we can write this number as 633 plus 8 over 23. You can see we divide by 23 and the denominator is still 23 here. So can we use the same idea to do long division in this algebraic fraction question? So first of all, we want to write these two polynomials, and we know we can't divide it by x minus 2 squared. So what we need to do, we need to expand x minus 2 squared by using GCSE knowledge. So just expand the brackets, we can get this x squared minus 4x plus 4. Similar as long division with numbers, we do 10 by 10 in long division with algebraic fraction. So we only need to focus on the first 2 terms of these polynomials, and 4x cubed divided by x squared, the coefficient of x squared is 1. So 4 divided by 1 is 4. Then we go use loss of indices to find the answer of x cubed divided by x squared. base stay the same, and we minus the power to get the answer. 3 minus 1 is 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. Sorry, you do not have to write 1 here. Then after division, we do multiplication. 4x times by x squared. We need to times it 10 by 10. Then 4x times negative 4x is negative 16x squared. The last term is 16x. After multiplication, we know we need to do subtraction. Now let's do the subtraction to find the remainder. The first term is 0, and it must be 0, otherwise this answer is wrong. The next part is minus 19 minus negative 16. So you should get the answer minus 3. And this is addition or subtraction with algebraic expressions. So do not forget minus 3x squared. The last term is 28x minus 16x. We can get the answer 12x. There's one more term in this question, so we also need to bring this term down to join with the remainder, and then we can have another 2 new polynomials. Then we just need to repeat the method by doing division, multiplication, and subtraction. Minus 3x squared divided by x squared, which are the first 2 terms of these 2 new polynomials, and it is easy to do division of these 2 terms. The answer is just minus 3, since x squared divided by x squared is 1. Then we do multiplication. It's minus 3x squared. Negative negative gives positive, so it's 12x minus 12. Then do subtraction again to get the remainder. The first part, 2 parts are 0. Minus 4 minus 12 is 8. So you can see 8 cannot be divided by x squared minus 4x plus 4, so which is 8 is our remainder. So we have completed the long division with this algebraic fraction, but we also need to write h of x in the form as the question requires, and now we can do it by using the similar idea as what we did with numbers. So it should be 4x minus 3 plus 8 of x minus 2 squared. Just to remind you, one of the most important things in A-level maths is working out and correct conclusion. So this question asks us to find out the values of A, B, and C. So we must close this question by finding the value of A, B, and C. So you can see from this question, you actually you haven't got anything new. You have only used what you have learned in primary school about long division with numbers. We use the same idea in doing long division with algebraic fractions. Hope that you enjoyed this question. And now let's move on to next question, which is a GCSE vector question. This question, there are only 2 marks. And you need to find the vector Cm in terms of A and B. I believe that you have learned parallelogram law and triangle law at GCSE about adding 2 vectors. I hope that you can pause the video to have a go by yourself to see whether you still remember how to add 2 vectors. And I'm going to write down the answer here. So when you finish the question, please come back to check your answers.